Hello and welcome back to Organic Cardboard. My name is Owen Kniep, and today I'm over at the PecktecGames studios. And,
Hello.
With Sean Peck. And today we are going to be talking about one of the games that's on the hotness, still on the hotness. You've probably seen it plenty of times by now. It's a little late on the hotness, and that's Vantage. Vantage by Stonemeier Games, specifically by Jamie Stegmaier, having worked 8 years to produce this behemoth of cards of some whatever 1,800 cards almost, and a very heavy condensed box that's not overly huge for how much it has in it.
Aren't you part of the Stonemeier Alliance, or what do they call it?
I did that for a year when it was convenient. Yeah. If you're part of their membership program, you can get stuff a little cheaper, a little quicker. I think a little cheaper shipping or something. Otherwise, you get it cheaper if you just hang out and find it. When a board game seller is going out of the board game business and they're selling everything at 50% off, I got a very good deal on this. Well, let me just go ahead and explain what Vantage is before I start talking about other stuff. You're probably already aware, but if you're not aware of what Vantage is about, this is in line with a lot of your kind of exploration type games that are going to include things like sort of on the line of like Distant Skies, maybe or what's not
Sleeping Gods.
Sleeping Gods.
Yeah.
And Earthborn Rangers. I'm trying to think. The Lands of Galazir. There's some stuff that I haven't played, but very much in line with just like pure exploration games.
And it's kind of my first impression of it. It reminded me of the Choose Your Own Adventure book, but much broader, like a Choose Your Own Adventure encyclopedia.
It has been, it has been called that multiple times. Like I've seen that same description many times online. That it is basically Choose Your Own Adventure, the board game.
Yeah.
So what you're doing in Vantage is you've got like a light story set up where you're on this spaceship with some people. I guess you're somewhat in the future. You're somewhat used to going to planet. I guess human society is somewhat used to going to different planets, different alien life. They're not too surprised by it. And you're coming in close to this planet that's giving you some signal for some reason to come check it out, and then your ship malfunctions, kind of almost Nemesis alien style, except there's no aliens. It just stuff just starts exploding out of your ship, and you have to go into escape pods, and everybody that is playing together are going to land in different locations that are going to have a different vantage, a different viewpoint on them, which is where the namesake's kind of playing into this. This game's all about like the things that you're seeing right in front of you and what you're doing with that. So I didn't want to give the spoilers, because this game is all about spoilable content. This is the whole thing of the game is exploring and seeing stuff that you haven't seen before. But I did pull out a few of the components that are listed in the rule book for the example. So it's stuff that you should be seeing anyway. So they have like an example of one of the locations that would be going to. So you might, I don't remember if this is an area that you can land on. It's pretty variable in the beginning, where you've got a little mechanic where you're rolling dice and looking at these numbers. The numbers will tell you what card to go to, and eventually it shows you where your particular character is landing up at, including your particular character that you kind of lightly chose through some different skill colors that might kind of guide you towards a certain theme of a character, like somebody that's more of a healer, somebody that's more combative, somebody that's
there are some archetypes that you kind of go for? Sort
of, yeah. Like you get the character that's more about like more mobile, and she happens to be the captain. Again, something that shows up in the rule book, so I'm not really spoiling anything, but the characters aren't really a big spoil anyways. You'll probably see them all pretty quickly. But when you land somewhere, basically you're just going to choose an action to do. So on your card you're going to have multiple options, and then you're going to succeed at any one of these with these colors as well as the descriptive term that's on it. Like one's wander, you got one that says study, ask, build, pilfer, or just smash, what you see on this card. You'll do that action, and then you're going to get some kind. You're always going to succeed at whatever you do, and then you're going to do a real light kind of damage mechanic, mitigation mechanic, where you're going to roll a certain number of dice because you're going to go into a book. You've got a whole stack of these books to go through, and each one's color coded too. So you're going to go through and find a particular color coded book.
And they are all text.
All text, yeah. You find that that specific spot tells you something that's going to happen. You're usually going to gain either like an item or a skill or some little something's going to happen.
Or possibly get your resources back up.
Yeah, and in fact, your resources are kind of like your life in the game. You do have one that's actually considered to be health, and then you got morale and your time, your limited time on that you have available. I don't know, until you expire, I guess, of boredom.
Time is an important resource.
Yeah.
And this is the only place where you can get time back.
So all of these kind of represent your health in a sense, because if any one of these gets down to 0, then you lose. So whenever you do a action, it's usually going to have a challenge involved with it of a certain value. Like, let's say it's a challenge of 4. That means you're going to take 4 of these dice, you're going to roll them, and then you're going to look at the results, and any of them that match these symbols are going to refer to damage. So like this one would cost me a morale for rolling that. However, you're going to have spots on your cards that can mitigate certain things like that. So you've got special spaces that might match the actual die, like that morale I could pop in here, and it's taking up a space on my card now, but then now it means that I'm not taking any damage. You've also got very specific ones sometimes, like this one can only be filled if I'm taking the blue action, which tends to refer to mobility, movement. But you might have other ones that even are so specific that they only can take that die away if you have the exact name of that action that you're doing, which are going to be variable on different cards. But you're going to keep kind of doing this. You're going to put the ones that, there's ones that will go away and don't do anything. Some of these go back. Eventually, though, as you play, you're going to have so many of these into this spent pool that you're going to go into a challenge where, let's say there's only 1 die left in here and have to do a challenge of 2. Then all of the die refresh back to the pool, and then I roll the 2 die. So it means that your cards are going to clear off and you'll have more options to mitigate damage further on through the game.
As you go through the game, you're going to picking the right cards that are able to absorb those dice that you do for challenges will be real important. And being able to clear them off it always feels great.
Oh, yeah.
During the game when you get to clear all of it off, and then maybe you've got a shot at doing more difficult things again.
And it does not take long for you to start amassing a lot of cards that can take damage and kind of make you feel fairly invincible on the game as you get going. You're going to have a grid around your character here. So he, she, whoever you have picked is going to count as one of your grid of 9, and then you're going to be able to put cards around it. And that's kind of like your inventory. There's no specific inventory space. It's not like you can only hold 1 glove or have only 1 pair of shoes. You could potentially have 2 pairs of shoes, I guess. Just put one on top of the other. I don't know. There's a lot of little things to kind of find in the game in that sense. But either way, you're going to have a lot of little places to hold damage at. And then you're going to go into this game with a mission that's going to show up. It's going to be kind of randomized from some dice rolls and skill selection early in the very beginning setup of the game. So I can't think of the specific ones, but it might be something like, I don't know, go find some alien that you've like become friends with their group or whatever. Like you become some diplomatic relations.
They're very memorable.
Let's say that's one of them. it's very random in that sense. It gives you a general direction of like something that you should be doing, but really this game is it's very loosely called a game in the sense like that you think of as like a board, like how board games are, like where you're trying to really math out like stuff that you're doing, where your actions are super impactful on how successful you are in this game. It's not really a game in that sense. It's really just a pure, let's go do this and see what happens. Let's go do that and see what happens. Okay, let's go over here and see what happens. And none of these actions that you do are really consequential. Not really. I mean, if you're trying to find some herb or something to make some special medicine or something like that, and you keep burning all the plants, okay, like as your action, you see some new plants, and instead of collecting them, you choose to burn them. Okay, maybe that's going to be impactful, but otherwise,
why are you burning them plants? You need to get to work. Quit burning them plants.
You could walk up on a group of sentients, they call them. They're just the generic term.
That's their name for aliens, right?
For all of the aware beings that are on the planet, and most of them are like some form of element. Well, okay, I'm not going to try to spoil too much, but there's a bunch of groups of them. We'll just say that, and you might run up on one or two or three on some card. And one of your options is to like go say hey to them, and one's to go ask them, or one's to like look at them from a distance and scan them, and one's to like break their leg or something. It's not that bad, but it might be like just straight up attack.
Or trick them or deceive them in some way. Like the red ones are always kind of adversarial or a little bit dangerous.
They're like the barbarian approach. So it's like, what do you do? Smash everything. I've got a hammer and everything's a nail. And there's no real consequence to that. You might go attack, fight with this thing, and you end up like getting a bag of gold and a spear or something. Like you always succeed in everything that you do. You just have to mitigate the amount of damage that you take so that you don't go to zero at anything.
Yeah, it's more about mitigating what happens after you succeed.
Yeah, and there's a big map in the game. All these cards do, like if you were to pull out all of the cards, they would all link up together to create a big map. And there are limited instances where you actually get to look at maps in the game to be able to like locate. But most of the time, you're going to be playing your own game while you're playing with other people. The biggest benefit of having another person is there's somebody else that can hold a damage die for you whenever they do. You do certain actions, they have limited capability to kind of
to help you mitigate and stuff.
Phone it in and give you some kind of help. So
that's a unique aspect of the game too. Is that if you're the second player, you're not supposed to actually show the other player or players what your card is.
Right.
You can describe it. You can say everything about it, but you're not supposed to show it. And that's to simulate us landing in different spots and trying to. We can still radio communicate back and forth, so we're talking to each other and describing what our cards are like.
Yeah. You'll even get a starting card where it's showing where your ship's starting to crash before you actually see your Vantage, and it'll give you something similar to this where it's got like a back that everybody else can't see. You got these little standees that you're putting these cards in, so everybody's kind of sitting there with their card. Well, I got it backwards. Everybody's sitting there with their cards kind of facing away from each other, and you can basically tell them everything that's on the card. You can it's everything but actually getting to see the card. So if you're fairly descriptive, honestly, most of the time it doesn't matter unless you guys are really trying to just finish a mission, you're getting close to dying or something like that. Most of the time you're like, there's probably not too much that's going on the other side of this world that is impacting you over here. But maybe if you're close enough and you can be like, hey, maybe we could actually link up together. And then when you're linking up together, you got more options too to be able to mitigate each other's dice. But otherwise, it's not a difficult game. There's nothing about this game that feels difficult at all.
Yeah, it's really one of those games where it gives you a really small rule set.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't burden you with a great amount of rules up front.
No.
And then and really the whole point of it, like you said, is just to go try things.
It is, yeah.
It's a pure adventure game.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's got there. It doesn't see it's got an end game. It's got an end game state. But didn't it seem kind of like when we played, it seemed like it was one of those things that's just like over a period of time it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's the without ruining any of the missions and there's a secondary missions called destinies, and you want to get one of each completed to be able to like have the epic victory, to say that you did a really good job.
You beat it.
You super beat it.
You won one.
The game gives you like outs. Like, in fact, again, I'm trying not to ruin anything in the game, but it gives you outs to finish the game quickly.
I think people need to know, though, like, you're not necessarily in this game for 5 or 6 hours.
No, you can be in it for an hour. It's usually going to be more like,
you could lose really fast, I guess, if you were just really reckless.
Yeah, or you might happen to run really close to where your mission stuff's at and just get it and be ready to finish the game, and then you just keep playing until you're done, and then you just finish it when you're done. It's very anticlimactic in that sense to finish the game. It's just like, okay, I've got this mess of cards all over the table around me and stuff that's stored and some quests and things, and well, I guess we're about done. We're going to go ahead and wrap the game up, and then you finish this last little thing that you were holding off because you wanted to see what some little pig animal was going to take you to if you followed it sniffing down a trail or something. And then I just want to see this last thing. Okay, I'm done. Okay, and then we pack it all up, and wasn't that fun.
Yeah, I think something that would make me like maybe pick this over, say, Sleeping Gods to play is that it is kind of a one and done kind of a thing, where Sleeping Gods is a more protracted, like a campaign.
Yeah.
Sleeping Gods all the way through is 5-8 hours, something like that, depending on how you do it.
Or more.
Yeah, depending how dumb you are.
Or how
you want an adventure.
Some people might want to just go straight to finishing it.
Like we kind of toured around a little bit, then express routed out. You could spend a lot of time in there, and this seemed like it would give you the ability to do that too. Like even when you get your out, you could still explore if you want, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, most of the time you can drag it out as long as you want to, and I think that one of the biggest pros of this game versus some of those other campaign games is it is not a campaign game, which I think is, at least in theory, that is a much more refreshing way to approach a big, huge box of game. I mean, it's not a huge box, but it's a big, heavy box, anyways.
Big, heavy box of text.
Yeah, it's a slightly bigger than average, but very heavy box. Let's say that. It's not. I've got much bigger boxes out there. And it's not daunting in that sense. So like, you're like, I don't got anything to do, right? This afternoon you're by yourself. You can have a solo adventure that's pretty much just as fun as playing with other people, and just kind of piddle around. And that's kind of what this game is. It's a bunch of piddling and kind of just messing around. I'm going to go over here and make this item, and then I'm going to upgrade this item, and then I'm going to take that item, and now I can do this other action more efficiently, but I didn't really need it to begin with because I got these other ways to mitigate those damages. So anyways, let's go over here, and there's some floating rock, and I'm going to poke it with a stick and see what happens. And when I poked it with the stick, it lit up and gave me some morale. It's like,
it gave me a kiss, so now I feel better about myself, and I got health points.
Yeah.
It's what's weird too is when I was playing it, I I was following along some vague mission. Like I was looking for rune signs or looking for these little symbols, and I started noticing they were in the art and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. But then I felt like I was going the right way, and then just kind of got off track, and then it didn't matter. And I put so much effort into that, like for the first half hour or so. I felt like do I go back? But then I didn't want to go back. I just wanted to kind of explore other things, and in the end, it kind of didn't matter.
It's very inconsequential. Your actions are very inconsequential in this game. Where, again, you might think like, should I? Like you just walked into somebody's house. One of your options is to raid it. Should I raid it? Go ahead. It's not going to really matter. Like you're probably not going to get kicked out and put in jail or anything like that. You're probably going to grab a nice item or two, or like, and nobody's gonna. I don't know.
Yeah, we took a couple of turns being bad and being good, and it didn't.
It doesn't put you on a naughty list where you're all of a sudden like shunned by all these people with these big consequences. It's just like go for it. And the game even says that for your first games, it's just be bold, do crazy things, do anything you want. And that's nice that there are a lot of like D&D like actions that you can do when you walk into a space. You can be like, what do you want to do? I want to jump up that wall and do a backflip or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have that, but maybe it has something like there's some aliens and you're going to impress them or sing to them or something like that.
Well, that little color-coded bar of actions is all, they're all kind of geared towards that. And don't you always have that like a set of colors, maybe not all the same, or do you always have all those options every time?
I think most every cards will give you every color action. Your characters are going to be spec'd in a little bit easier of a way. Like she can take a little more damage from movement type actions. In fact, even when you're just moving off of a card, you can only do one action in every card, and that's part of this game kind of pushing you forward so you don't maybe dilly-dally too much on one card, rather you dilly-dally throughout the whole game. But you can only do one action normally on a card unless that action tells you that you can then continue, and then you have to like continue. You either have to or you may continue going on with a different action. So you might be able to potentially do multiple actions, like you might scan an area and you scan it lets you see something that then gives you a benefit on another action. So there's a bunch of stuff like that. There's little skill tokens that you'll pick up as like kind of rewards for different things. You can spend those to decrease the cost of certain colored actions. You've got little boost tokens that you're going to pick up on your character card and on other cards that can maybe be spent off to either mitigate damage or to like give you some other benefit as you go. You might use them to upgrade the card. Like you might be gaining some experience off of some spell that you learned or something, and you had to have some boost tokens on it to do that. So there's a lot of like interesting scenarios that happen. And I would say that like with most people's first game, you're gonna like probably really love the first hour of the game, maybe the first couple hours. There's a lot of interesting actions that you can do, and it's exciting to see what happens. And all of a sudden, like now you've got a pet, and now you've got like some kind of vehicle. Whether it's like going in the water or the sky or whatever, or on land. You've got some new awesome axe and a bottle of juice.
A couple of new spaces that mitigate dice that you have problems with and didn't have spaces for before. Yeah.
Or you've got like an alien buddy all of a sudden. You've got somebody and he's teaching you stuff when you want to.
I miss my alien buddy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's a bunch of that's really neat and fun. But I've played this game just three times now. I played with Sean. I played with Ashley. I played with myself solo. The experience was very similar playing with two versus by yourself, except that you're not. It's almost better solo. Like I think it's fun to see what the other person's doing and have like this kind of like it's not really a
kind of get to experience a little bit more of the game by proxy.
Yeah, and it's like you're sharing in their experience rather than you guys having like one unified shared experience. You're kind of like, what are you doing? Oh, cool. This is what I'm doing over here. Oh, cool. We're just a couple kids playing in a sandbox, and that's kind of what it feels like. I'm making a castle. Oh, cool. I'm making a boat. Oh, awesome.
I'm riding a pink rhinoceros alien.
Yeah, so it's a bunch of that, which again, going solo, one of the benefits of doing it solo is that you can just keep turn after turn after turn. I will say that it's a bit of a pain going through all these books. Some people really like that tactile. Like I've got a game that's disconnected from electronics, and I've got everything I need here.
Did they make a digital?
They have a digital. I think it's called like pop-up rules or something similar to that. But there's you could find it just looking up Vantage rules online, and it makes it extremely simple. You can pop in the number and the color or whatever, and so it immediately pops up the section for you. It blurs out stuff so that you won't accidentally spoil stuff if you're playing it solo. And it also has all the errata kind of built into it too. So there's a decent amount of errata in this game, and they address that on the online thing. So not only is it quicker, it's just, and I'm not a big fan of grabbing a tablet or something to play a board game with, but I did find that extremely beneficial, like just a nice convenience.
As long as you don't have to have it.
No, you don't have to, and that and you definitely don't have to have it. And there are some fun interactive things that are built into the potential of doing online things. I won't go into the secrets of the game, but there are some fun interactive things that kind of build you into this kind of bigger online community as well. That's optional to do when you're playing the game completely off the grid. So yeah, it's a little bit of an odd. I feel like, and I know I'm just speaking for people. I feel like a lot of people have played this a small amount of times before they've reviewed the game, and this is only the third time. I've only played it 3 times myself. Sean's played it once. You definitely get an idea for this game. Not all of its secrets, of course, but you get an idea pretty quick of how this game's going to play. And I don't know. It makes me question how some people are so excited about the game, and then others are very like blah and like it's okay, If you go on the Dice Towers review, they've got a panel of 4. I think one gave it like a 6, and one gave it like a 5. One gave it like a 9, and the other one gave it like an 8 or something like that, or 2 9s or something. It was
it's all over the place.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is like if you need to know what you're going into when you're playing a game like this. If you're a quote unquote board gamer and you like a lot of Euro games and you like a lot of these like thinky puzzle games where you have real consequences with your actions and you have like real benefits for like doing things really smart and you that's what gets you into board games to begin with, is having this like real mental kind of conflict or feeling like I don't know, that you have just these really meaningful decisions that are happening. This isn't the kind of game that you're going to expect. In fact, it's not going to really feel like a game at all to you in that regard. It's really about just wandering around and seeing what's out there, developing like kind of more almost like a D&D without the real fighting or something. It's like this little story that you're kind of like, after you're done with the game, you play it 2 to 3 hours. You should be about finished at that point. If not actually finished with the game mentally, you're probably finished. then you've got this story that you're looking back at about, man, I went over here and I talked with these people and I became their friends, and then they let me into their house, and then I had tea with them, and then one of them joined me on my quest, and then we left, and then I found this hurt animal, and then I nurtured him back, and then he was my loyal companion, and then so there's a lot of things for people to like about the game, and I hate to poo-poo on it too much, because it's not it doesn't need to be poo-pooed on, but it's definitely not going to be the game for everybody, and even for people that like, I think, the Ryan Lockett's games, the
Sleeping Gods.
Sleeping Gods in particular. I think those have more of a game element into them. Iridia is much more of a game, while also being this like big sandbox experience. But it's a big campaign. It's a big game. You got to get it all over the table. This takes up a very tiny amount of space, so that's a big plus for it.
Yeah, that is a big plus.
And I like that a lot. That it's a fairly large, like a pretty large world, and a very containable space. Even when you, at the end of a 3-hour game, you've got cards. That's fine for right now. You've got cards all over the your tableau area and everything. Even then, it doesn't spiral out of control to this like huge. You don't need a huge table to play it, and for how much space that you're going through in the game world, you're really keeping it pretty contained, and that's nice. That's nice to know that you, like Sean was saying, that you can finish a game in a and just be done with it.
In a setting, a normal board game setting.
It's like you just got done playing, I don't know, a Lacerda game, and you want to just goof off for a while and not think about anything serious. You come to a game like this, and it might be a really good palate cleanser for you. So I was a little torn at first when I was playing. I really enjoyed the game. I enjoyed really all the 3 times I played it, but I immediately was like noticing that's like there's a point where this starts to feel like, what the heck am I doing? I'm just blahing around.
That's like, okay. So just like in a Marvel movie, where with plot armor you realize the hero's just not going to die. Mm-hmm. Even Iron Man was only a little bit of a surprise, right? So because of that, if there's no gravity to what you're doing, I mean, maybe you might roll really bad and end up kind of low, but so long as you don't do dumb things, you can kind of keep yourself in the green, or the yellow at least, as in terms of your resources and stuff. So what's left? You've got this adventure. I think if you're the type of person that really enjoys, I think it's kind of like a little dopamine kind of thing. It's like, oh, you succeeded. You succeeded. You succeeded, and you get a little bit of that, because you're always going to be able to do what you wanted to do. It just might cost you a little bit more.
Like one of those click-through games on your phone or something, where it's just like, oh, you're so good at this, buddy. You did a great job.
Wow, look at you. You did great. I think we both appreciate too the reams and reams and reams of text and thought that went into making this kind of game. I think for me, the lack of combat, like it had at least like kind of feisty little things you could do, but I kind of liked the Sleeping Gods version where you'd fight it. Although I like the story in this a little bit better. I think I like the theme of this a whole lot better. But if you want to go play Spaceman with some people that don't really like board games a whole lot. And I'm not saying that to be mean to this, but this isn't like pulling out a Euro.
No.
And like if people hate that, this might be the kind of thing that you could pull out and play with them.
It would be an excellent gateway game to get people to touch cardboard if they are really highly offended by it, or if you've got Yeah, like
I hate that card.
there are a lot of people that are. They're just like
anti-game altogether.
Yeah, because they're so used to like growing up playing stupid games like Trouble and Monopoly.
A good way to show people that it's not all Monopoly.
Yeah, and I say that even via like I'll always say that I do like a 4-player game of interactive Monopoly, but only whatever. I won't get off on that tangent. But anyways, they've had bad game experiences, and it just brings back all these extremely boring sensations. They might come into a game though like this and be like, oh wow, I'm doing this and that. There's hardly any real effort. You feel like there's a little effort. You're like, oh, I've got to figure. Oh, I've got all this damage. How do I get it? Okay. And then at the end of it, it's like, okay, I didn't take anything. Good. Okay, let's keep going. And then it clears all off on your next game. Like I played when I played solo. I made it a little bit more difficult where I pushed the like instead of starting at 4 on everything, I started at 3, and I did get down where my time was staying at 1 for a while. Like I was just living on the edge, but then I found ways to mitigate that so well the rest of the time I was playing it, that even at that point I didn't feel like that was too scary. I kept trying to go for the mission. The mission was fairly elusive. There's ways to like look with the mission card to give you direction. None of it was really helping. Ended up finding a different mission. I think I ended up there was a, well, okay, again, it's hard. It's really hard not to spoil in this, but I ended up like just kind of reconfiguring to do it's kind of a different kind of mission. I'll say that, and still finish the game without feeling like I was really living on any serious edge, even playing on a higher difficulty by myself with nobody else that can help, me take those actions. So if you're at any kind of level of like, thinky tough gamer kind of person, this is not going to feel like any kind of challenge for you. But it's hard. It's hard to really like knock it too much because it's a neat game.
It's good at what it is. It's really good at what it is. It's a pure adventure game.
Yeah,
it's a pure where you fail, where you do not fail.
It's a feel-good game.
Yeah, it's cozy.
Very cozy.
Cozy space adventure game, perfect for a rainy day with the fam.
Yeah,
this is a fantastic family game. If you've got young kids and stuff, this is a storytelling game. In that one game I played, I'm not looking to buy this game myself. I'll tell you that now. It is not the kind of game I really like a lot, but I remember all those cards that I went to.
Yeah.
Well, because there's this rule where you can only do these cards once, and it just says, "Well, you just remember which cards." I was like, "Well, what if you circle around back to it?"
You can write notes. It says you can take notes, but they kind of just say you probably aren't going to need to, and you don't.
And I didn't. I remember just about every card that we went to.
You got that whole Vantage thing. You got a strong like visual component to each of these cards. And you've got an action associated with it. It almost does that memory trick in your brain of like sticking it in there. And because I even remember a lot of the stuff from the 3 games that I played. So
between the imagery and the interaction that's read to you, and there's some reading and stuff, but it's just a few sentences. It's not like paragraphs and paragraphs of stuff. So it's not bad.
It's not the most expensive game, but it's not cheap.
What is this price?
I want to say it retails for like $80. Which it's a lot of content for that price.
Yeah, it was a lot of work to make it. So yeah,
I want to say that's about how much it normally retails for. It might be even more than that. It might be $90 fully, but like you usually never pay the full retail price on games, just depending on where you're going. I want to say Game Nerds has it for $75. I got this. For this 50% off sale that was going on. Otherwise, I did want to play it.
This was at the store?
This was at CM Games.
It was?
CM Games.
How did I miss that?
There was a guy, they said the guy came in there and bought 3 of them. So they apparently had like a stock of them, and this was like, must have been the last game that they ordered.
It must have been, because, yeah.
And I was surprised to see it there. They're getting out of the board game. they're in all the other game world, but they're out of board games.
They got pure Pokemon and Magic.
And
lost another one.
Yeah, Warhammer and Super Nintendo games and all that.
Wow, what a great deal, though.
Yeah, it was. So if I did not see it for that price, I would not. I knew from what I looked up about it that it probably wasn't going to be a game that was going to stick in my collection.
But I'm glad we got to experience it.
I'm really glad I got to play it. Yeah. And I do not feel like it was a waste of time to play that. It's just I need a little more of a point to a game than this. And other people, the point of the game is just the blasé kind of meandering around. And I say that and it sounds really negative because I'm coming at it from a perspective that it's not a game that I'm keeping. I didn't invest a bunch of money into it. I feel like maybe that's part of why some people are super like, oh, I really got to like this game because I spent $80 on it.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, and I know there's going to be people that might watch this and be like, screw you, it's an awesome game. And
I know what I like.
And you do know what you like, and if you like it, I'm sure there's plenty of stupid, complicated Euro games that other people that would say they love this game would absolutely hate and think that was the most boring waste of a time and completely not fun. So we all have our own tastes and fun. I'm on the side.
Not everybody likes consequences.
I'm on the side that like if I so I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating for the game. I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10, and that's kind of an odd number for me to pull out. I think because it's just kind of under what I would want to keep. There's a lot that I appreciate in the game. I don't really want to knock it any lower than that personally because there's a lot that I like. Like if somebody has this out at a board game store and we're not doing anything else and they want another person to play, I might just be like, yeah, sure, let's go mess around. Let's go find some crystal juice and some crazy fire critter that's might lead me back to a nest of I don't know what, just random stuff. That's kind of what goes on in the game. And that's going to be one of those, it's absolutely, beer and pretzels or with soda and pretzels or whatever if you want to have that more family experience. It's a very, very relaxed game. But yeah, I think for me, it's kind of like, I had this analogy I was thinking of earlier today, and I'm going to goof it up now. But it kind of made me think of like, if you I'm gonna goof this all up. If you're looking for some milk and you take an almond and you're gonna try to pull milk out of it, and you try all the normal means to get milk out of that almond, it ain't gonna work. But if you change what your definition is of milk, you might be able to reconfigure that almond into something that's going to be that milky experience that you're looking for. And I think for a lot of people that analogy, which doesn't make a lot of sense right now, is that...
I keep thinking of that banana water drink now.
Yeah, right.
What is Banagua?
But you're going into something looking for a certain kind of like game, and you need to like be aware of what having a game means to you, and then maybe at that point if it becomes something that you like, then you might be drinking almond milk for the rest of your life. I don't know.
Meditate on that, yo.
Yeah.
So I would have given this probably a 5 because it's just not the kind of game for me. But give it a 6 for the effort.
6 for the effort.
I don't know. It sounds patronizing or something.
Yeah.
No.
It's like true though. There's a lot of good effort.
And 6 isn't bad, right?
No.
Yeah. I'm not used to even putting numbers on things. I'm trying it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 is good. It's a good game. It's 6 is really good, isn't it? And like 5 is all right, and 6 is good.
I think,
and then 7 is like really good, maybe.
In my mind, I think of a 6 as like I might play that again. if it's any lower than a 6, I'm probably not. I'm just going to actively probably not really want to play it.
Yeah, since the whole range is kind of aimed at you, right? It's like what I would like. I think this. Yeah,
You almost have to define it. If it's low, the further it gets below a 6, it's just how angry the game makes me. I've got one game that just makes me really mad to play. I won't really mention it right now, but yeah, but 7s are games that like I would maybe keep. And then they go up from there, where it's like games I really want to get out. That's just me. Though I don't have I don't think it's real specific as a.
yeah, and maybe it doesn't matter anyway. But I'm thinking this game is while it's not the game for me, I can see if I had young children, if my child is grown and is an adult now. Mm-hmm. If I had young children, like some of my friends and stuff, I would definitely get this game. Because it's a great rainy day adventure story. For them, it's probably a 7 or an 8. For me, it's more like a 5 because I just don't feel like wasting my time on these little stories. Like I liked the story, I thought it was good and stuff, but it's not really what I'm looking to do in a game. I'm more of a build railroads and fight Cthulhu kind of guy. So.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to reviewing Iridia yet, but man, that game really does the sandbox quest open world experience and has the game component of the game mixed into it, where even though that you're definitely at risk of dying and getting in real issues in that game if you don't play it well.
Yeah.
And I like that. I need that. I think I need to feel like a sense of real achievement. This game's not really about real achievement. It's about feeling good and continuing to like have this interesting like world that you're looking into. But
low risk, low reward.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, yeah. So not much risk in this game, but it's neat. There's a lot to be appreciative of it, and I'd be so happy if everybody that watches this thinks this is their favorite game, and they're very angry at me and for even thinking that it could be anything lower than a 9 or whatever. But just not quite.
Oh boy! And if it's your 9, then congratulations. A lot of love and work obviously went into this game, and you're going to enjoy it for hours and hours. If this is your thing, you can rock on this game for a long time.
Yeah. So I guess my advice at the end of this is just make sure you know what kind of game experience you're getting into. Play it with somebody else before you buy it, and invest a bunch of money into something that you might feel bad about later if you.
And that's one thing I hate about a game with like pure spoiler. We're talking about almost any part of it is a spoiler. It makes it really tough, I think, to decide.
Yeah.
But you can resell games. You can get a game and then enjoy it for some period of time and sell it for a smaller amount of money, and it's okay.
Yeah, and
that is all right to do.
And I will say, I'll reiterate that I am glad I got to play this game. So
yeah, I am too. I'm glad you bought it.
Yeah, right. Well, you buy a lot of games. Yeah. But folks, I think that's about all we've got to say about Vantage. So check it out at like some local board game event. Find a friend that's really into it and wants to show it to you.
It's being heavily promoted. I've seen it promoted in our local game store and other places too. So
yeah, I think it's it's got a pretty good insert, good quality. I mean, there's nothing bad about these cards. They're not that kind of like wingspan feeling linen finish. There's so many cards you can't make them all high quality without jacking up the price of the game so much. But they're not bad, and they're pretty. The artwork's really pretty. It's got a lot of neat things going on for it. The dice are nice. They got these little skill dice. These are kind of whatever cardboard tokens, but they have upgradable ones, and you can get a whole upgradable little grid thing.
You
for
can
your
spend more
characters.
money.
You can
They've made sure of that.
But you don't need to. Everything that's in here is fine as is. So, I don't know. Check it out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. If you enjoy this kind of content, a couple of those little free clicks on the screen really helps support out channels like mine and like Sean's. So, appreciate it so much when you do. But as always, do what is right for you. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.